Did any of you feel any sort of surprise when you seen this video pop up? I wouldn't say so. That's strictly down to the fact that out of all of the Harry Potter characters who've done some bad things, Bellatrix would be one of the very few who are actually proud of all the bad things that they've done. She revelled in all the harm she caused because it was in Voldemort's name, and anything in Voldemort's name had a justifiable cause even if it truly didn't warrant it. This was one of those cases where I had more than 5 options for the worst things Bellatrix Lestrange has ever done, but I've narrowed it down to what I believe are the absolute worst things out of them all. Make sure to add in your own worst thing she's done in the comment section below, but for now let's kick this video off with number 5. Torturing Hermione Granger. Bellatrix done her fair share of torturing in the name of her master, all of which she thoroughly enjoyed, but none more so than a nice, fresh muggle or muggleborn. I think she enjoyed killing muggleborns more because of the accusation against them for stealing magic, something we all know isn't true whatsoever. It's actually impossible, but when she got her hands on Hermione Granger with the justifiable reason to at least question her on the sword of Gryffindor originally being in her vault, she couldn't help herself and made sure Hermione knew that she was choosing the wrong side. Not that she'd be allowed to become part of Voldemort's ranks anyway. She horrifically tortured Hermione in Malfoy Manor, her screams being heard all the way down to the cellar, to Harry and Ron's total unease. Bellatrix even took things one step further by slowly carving the word Mudblood into her arm by hand. No magic involved here. The torture got so bad that Hermione's spirit broke completely and the screams turned into total submission. It was an experience she never forgot and a stark reminder of her participation in this war, which would ultimately mean her life on the line. She would have been killed by Bellatrix after extracting the information anyway. It's hard to even place this at number 5 because it's such an awful moment in the books and for Hermione, but I hope it gives you an indication of the extremities that await further down this list. Number 4. Ensuring Dumbledore's death. Believe it or not, Bellatrix had a massive influence on Snape taking the unbreakable vow. Well, more than an influence, she basically called his bluff, and Snape had no choice, and to be honest, I feel like it was always part of her plan from the very beginning. You see, Bellatrix had questioned Snape's loyalty since she returned to Voldemort's service. It angered her that Snape just switched sides and went on with his life for 13 years and received no punishment of any kind for it. It pissed her off even further because Snape spun it around as him deceiving Dumbledore for all those years, and his true loyalty was always to Voldemort. Bellatrix was aware that Draco was tasked with killing Albus Dumbledore, and despite her light protest that Draco should be honoured, she knew it was far too big a task for someone so young and inexperienced. By insisting that Snape take the unbreakable vow, she knew Snape would have no choice but to fulfill the vow and kill Dumbledore, which would prove his loyalty to everyone. She also knew it was the ultimate punishment for Snape to have him forcibly execute Dumbledore should his loyalty to the Order of the Phoenix remain true, and he continued to play double agent. And if he refused to complete the vow, he dies, which means a disloyal traitor has gotten what they deserve. Either way, Snape loses and Bellatrix wins. It's quite a genius tactic if you ask me, and as I said, she had it all planned from the very beginning. Number 3. Killing her cousin and niece. It's a pretty well known lesson from Harry Potter that family is important. It's actually everything. We see the loving example set by the Weasleys and how Harry craves to have what Ron has, even though he's very warmly welcomed into the Weasley fold. Anyway, that doesn't mean that family importance is applied to every family in the Wizarding world, in particular those of pureblood origins. Pureblood families were adamant on keeping the bloodlines unfiltered, and that meant being very choosy on one's life partners. The Black family, for example, were extremely strict on their beliefs and heavily frowned upon family members who strayed from what they've been taught for centuries. Mixing the bloodlines was the biggest insult to everything that magic represented, and it created a divide between some of the Black family members. For example, Bellatrix married the pureblood Rodolphus Lestrange, Narcissa married pureblood Lucius Malfoy. Both sisters gained their parents' immediate approval. However, third sister Andromeda fell in love with Muggleborn Ted Tonks and chose a life with him instead of pleasing her parents' outdated beliefs. She was disowned as a Black and had her name burned off the family tree. Her daughter Nymphadora was considered an abomination, and furthermore her union with a werewolf infuriated Bellatrix, as she was subject of a humiliating, humorous jibe from Voldemort on her dirty family ties. Sirius, although not choosing a partner of unacceptable blood, still refused to accept his own parents' insistence on living a life on socializing with a certain group of wizards and eventually marrying into that circle. Bellatrix happily wiped out both Sirius and Nymphadora permanently off the family tree. It shows that Bellatrix placed duty to her family's traditional upheld beliefs over her actual flesh and blood. Number 2. Killing Dobby. Books aside, watching Dobby die was one of the saddest moments of the entire movie series. It's captured beautifully, and it really highlights how the underlying theme to this whole series is death. Harry Potter is one sad story. Dobby was internally grateful to Harry for everything he'd done for the elf, freeing him from his cruel owner Lucius Malfoy, and would always be a lending hand to the boy who lived. Despite Dobby's freedom, it still wasn't entirely widely accepted for an elf to be free, as the race had been enslaved for so many centuries. Dobby risked his life when he came to Malfoy Manor in order to rescue Harry and his friends. The elf had gotten the better of everyone in the room, quite effortlessly I might add, as elves have a different kind of magic. Just as they were disapparating, Bellatrix threw the dagger into the apparition, piercing Dobby's chest and wounding him fatally. Dobby died slowly in Harry's arms, and as I said moments ago, it was one of the saddest moments of the entire series. It was Bellatrix's way of having the last laugh by taking Dobby's life. Number 1. Torturing the Longbottoms. In my opinion, this is the worst thing Bellatrix has ever done, even more so than her killing of Dobby, Sirius and Nymphadora, because although killing someone is the ultimate violation of nature, it's something that's done and over with. It has an end, no coming back. What Bellatrix did to the Longbottoms was deliver a fate worse than death. In her pursuit of Voldemort's whereabouts after his disembodiment, Bellatrix and 3 other Death Eaters captured the Longbottoms and tortured them for information, which was ultimately a stalemate. On one hand, the Longbottoms didn't know anything about what happened to the Dark Lord. On the other, Bellatrix was totally convinced that the Longbottoms had the information she needed, so she tortured them with the Cruciatus curse. Initially unbearable, both Frank and Alice withered in excruciating pain, Bellatrix performing the curse for longer every time. Then, she didn't let up. She held the curse for as long as possible until the pain shattered the couple's mental barrier, driving them insane from not receiving any relief from the curse. They were left hospitalized for the rest of their lives and still remain in St. Mungo's today. Nothing tops this act in my opinion, and it rightly holds the position as the worst thing Bellatrix has ever done. There you have it everyone, that's my 5 worst things Bellatrix Lestrange has ever done. Thanks for watching, give this video a like, and I'll see you all in the very next video.